So we will see how the user can input any particular value into the program, and we will also see how we can output any value to the standard output, and we will also understand like what the standard output is. So let's get started. So in Python, we use the input function to input any values from the user. So whenever you call an input, program is basically paused on this particular statement, and it will wait for any input from the user, and only after that it will proceed further, right? And for output we basically use print. So print is used for printing any values to the standard output. Right? Now let's understand a bit what standard output means here. So standard output can be anything, and it based on your specific use case. Let's say for example, I have a terminal here, right? And if I run this particular Python file, I mean there is nothing here currently. So here if I do something like main.py, we don't get any output here, but let's say I just print hello world. So you can see that we are getting this hello world output in this particular terminal. So for this use case, so we haven't specified any particular location to which this output would go. So it will take the default environment where this file is being executed, and it will print that there, right? So in this particular use case, our terminal is basically the standard output, but we can have like custom outputs as well. Like if I have a file here, let's say output.txt, we can basically redirect the output of this program to this particular file. So this is your redirection symbol in Unix systems. So you can use this redirection symbol to redirect any output to any particular location or file, right? So in this case this is the output.txt, and let's see if I execute it here. You can see that nothing is getting printed in this terminal, but instead the output is redirected in the output.txt. So that's about printing values. Let's see some other examples as well. Yep, so I can actually have variables defined here also. I have a string variable here, and you can print multiple values. If I do this, right, so you can see that I have Niladri here. You can also perform operations here. Right, and you can even call functions. Right, so not only this, you can have more values here. So whatever you put, like if you put anything comma separated, so the output will be space separated sequence of outputs for each of these arguments that you provide. So this print is nothing but a function, right? So this is your function call with these are your arguments here. So you can actually put any number of arguments and all the results will come out as space separated strings here. Yep, so we are getting all this. So that's mostly about print. Let's check out input as well. So for input, whenever we call this input function, so the program will basically stop at this particular point and it will ask the user to ask the user for some input from their side, and you can pass some description string here like enter your name. So this string will be displayed on the standard output at your name, let's say, and whatever input the user provides, you may or may not need to capture it in a variable here, and then we can basically print that, let's say, the entered name was, and we will just print name here. Yeah, so it says enter your name. I'll just put my name here, right? Yeah, then after that the print statement was executed and you can see that my entered name was Niladri, right? So you can actually so this is how the input statement works. One thing to note that is that whatever value you try to input in the terminal, so it will always be captured actually as a string. So it doesn't matter if you are putting a number here or some other kind of value, it will always be processed as a string. Even if you put some characters or symbols, special characters, it will always be a string type. Now that's an important point, because let's say you are trying to put a number here, right? And to process those numbers, since it's a string representation, you first need to convert the string to a number, and then whatever logic you want to have there, right? So let's say like enter your age, and I'll just show you what the type of value that we are getting here, right? So I'll just say type of age is, and so we will basically print the type here. Let's see what so I'll just input a number and see what happens. Let's say my age is 60, and here you can see the type captured here is actually a string. So even if you put a number here, it will always be so not even integers, like if you put anything here, it will always be treated as a string. So what you have to do is you have to convert this value to a number type, right? And how do we do that? And we have to basically typecast this. So typecasting I'll cover in a later video in depth, but so what essentially you have to do is that you have to change it into a integer type, right? So now if we see what the type of age is, let's say I am putting again 65. Yeah, so now you can see the type has changed to int. So this is one thing that you need to keep in mind when dealing with input, that whatever you put, it is always in a string format. Yep, so that was all for this video. Thanks, and see you in the next one.